NRS Esports, officially the page to have all the information for all things competition-wise for MK1, made an announcement for the pro competition for Mortal Kombat 1, right? 2023, 2024. This is the official circuit. Think your Capcom Cups, think your Tekken World Tours, Arc Revos. It's the equivalent to that, but for MK. I've had this before. It's been around for quite some time now. And this one came out, like I said, on Friday. They posted up. It's saying it starts with, traditionally these kinds of tours, they have different stops. In other words, they have different events that count towards the actual tour's scoring system. You have offline, you have online. Usually a combination of the two. When it first started, there were more offlines. Nowadays, there's kind of more online, right? The times there are changing. If we're gonna go by any kind of historical lyrics to any really good songs out there. But this one, like I said, for the MK1 Pro Competition, will be no different. It's gonna feature both offline and online tournaments where global leaderboard points are awarded to players based on their placement in each event. 4 offline events and 3 offline events per region will be available for every player to compete for points. Can I also note that they are really trying to be consistent with replacing every C with a K in their wording here.
Yeah.
Good job, marketing. Really in the spirit of it. To prevent penalizing those who can't make every event, only the best 3 offline and the 2 best online placements count towards their global leaderboard scores. Makes sense. Can't farm everything. Shouldn't be allowed to farm everything, but you get your top 3 in your offlines and your top 2 on online. 10 online regional final winners and the top 9 players from the global leaderboards, as well as the 1 winner for an LCQ, last chance qualifier, will make up the 20 players to compete in final combat. That'll be the finals day, whenever that goes down.
I'll let you finish the last part, because
Okay.
that kind of makes me a little annoyed.
So, we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down through all the pain points for sure. More details on the league, a full rule set, point breakdown will be shared soon. Now, stay tuned for NRS Esports for more details before pro competition begins at East Coast Throwdown. Now, shout out to East Coast Throwdown. ECT is an awesome event. It's happening. This is where kind of things start. Not escalating, but rather, it kind of gets a little muddy. Kind of rubbed the community in some weird ways because starting with ECT being the first stop to it, ECT's a pretty, I think I've said in the past, ECT's pretty MK centric. Like, I don't think I'm off my mark there. It's got a lot of gains, but when one of the founders of it that started it, Sweet Johnny Cage, like literally is in the name, they're about that MK life. Now I believe he still works at Riot, actually, funny enough. But that's the tricky part that already starts. If you were listening earlier, this is October 9th. They announced this 3 days ago, so October 6th, give them that. 2 weeks were given notice that East Coast Throwdown is now an official offline event. There are only 4 offline events.
Keep in mind, it was 2 days before closing of ECT.
And thank you. And 2 days before registration for ECT. To close. But before they close, I don't even know if they do on-site, to be honest. I don't think they even are. I don't think they are.
I mean, they may have to now.
Maybe.
MK.
Maybe. Fun. I forget who I was with. Was I with you, Meza, or with you, Static, where we met Sweet Johnny Cage randomly in an elevator and he swindled us into joining Marvel? I don't know if I was with one of you guys.
That's probably you guys,
no.
maybe.
Yeah, it was me and someone. I might have been with HC Cloud, actually, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it wasn't me. I just remember seeing him around the Street Fighter booth last year.
Oh, okay. But regardless, back to the point at hand. 4 offline events, 1 being in 2 weeks, 2 days away from it being registered at that time. Kind of a little scummy. It's not even bad. It's just that's kind of scummy. I'm not gonna lie. That for it being the actual pro competition, because maybe you could say there's plenty of other events. Well, we don't know. For one, we don't know how offline is being weighed versus online. If it's being weighed more, obviously there's more of a cost to go to offline events, right? Yeah. That's just a fact. Travel, boarding, all that stuff. By say boarding, I mean hotel and shit. But transportation, maybe even from there and from, whatever. That's gonna cost you more than just waking up, maybe having some lunch. You're still in your PJs or not. I don't know how you guys play MK. and making sure you make it to your pools online, right? After signing up. Already this event is happening in 2 weeks. We don't know how offlines are being skewed towards online. So we have limited amount of information off the rip, and we're supposed to accept that. You're only allowed the best 3 offline. So technically, like anyone East Coast wise, because we don't even know where the other events are. I'm assuming, once again, I am under the assumption here, because the weird thing about it is that, not even the weird thing, it's like I doubt this is international. I'm just being real.
It says global.
It does say global? Well, it says global leaderboards. It says global leaderboards. That doesn't actually necessarily mean global, but you know what? For the sake of argument, you could be right. It could be international, right? I mean, it should be, right? Canada, Foxy Grandpa. We got players from other places, but they're still kind of strictly NA, is what I'm saying.
It did say in 3 online events, so 3 online events per region, 4 offline events, including ECT. So
did I read that incorrect?
I would imagine they're gonna do.
My apologies. My apologies. You're right. It is says per region. I did read that incorrectly. It was kind of throwing me off. So all right. 4 offline events per region, 3 online events per region. So in North America, we kind of are shit out of luck, but hey, that's East Coast, right? So East Coast, that's our one right there. I'm assuming there's going to be one West Coast. I'm assuming somewhere Midwest. I want to say maybe Chicago. Like I'm assuming Combo Breaker is going to get that, right? Like it's kind of like an assumption, but it sounds correct. And maybe CEO for the South, right? Like in terms of USA,
region.
Like
USA.
If it's NA, if it's NA, there's nothing. I can't think of an event in Canada that this would be at, right? Like I can't think of one myself or anything like that. Regardless though, we still got online events from that, but we're already
Justin runs that one event out there, so that might be it, right?
I don't know if he runs it or he's a part of it like that. I know his stream gets used for it. I can't remember the event either. But regardless. So we're already out one event anyway. East Coast people, you lucked out on that. Usually we get the shit out of the stick when it comes to something like that. But so East Coast, we already got one down. We don't know how skewed this is. It was very close. It was just very close. So now we're already probably kind of diluting the pool a little bit. But you do get 3 events top max, right? If you're doing all offline. So this one can be a wash. Right, it could be a wash. The thing that's tripping me out is that we didn't have a full rule set from the BRIP. We don't even know what the standard's going to be. Like we don't know if it's gonna be a 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5.
My thing is this: why the hell would you post it on Twitter of all places without making it on the website? Like that should have been
without even
visualized first.
No, it shouldn't even be that. It should have been something that was made prior to the game even coming out.
Yeah.
Like Capcom and SNK, when they have a Pro Tour, I don't know if it's SNK, but other companies, when they have a Pro Tour of some sort coming out, they have like that little boring footage montage where we're like, oh, okay, World Tour. Right. Tekken did it. Tekken is always ready with the World Tour montage.
Yeah, because I even tried looking in and I was like, okay, cool. Like rules to be based upon game release and tour formats announced. So I'm like, okay, cool.
I think that's the Start GG problem.
We still they input that. That's the event. That's the TO. Can put that.
Working with it, I can officially say that's a thing. That is not a Start.gg.
Yeah, exactly.
If I may, real quick, so it looks like according to their, I sent you the tweet. Yeah. According to ECT's thing, they have registration ending later this week. So
the 14th, right?
Yeah, I went to go ahead and I went to register. Well, just for MK1, I went to go ahead and register, and I saw that it was until the end of the week. Gotcha.
So it ends tomorrow for all games except for MK1. That was on the 7th. Today being the 9th. Yeah. So yeah, correct. So it's like that kind of that they might have heard. That's on the TO. They might have heard like the cries for help there because it was pretty shoddy timing. So I'm glad to hear ECT is like, all right, look, we'll extend it. It might be a little bit more of a nightmare for them, but they are doing what they can to make sure the community gets kind of situated there. So good on them.
But still, late competitor 110.
I still got to go back to saying what I said before. I don't like the way they presented this. Even time frame, right? Time frame, completely terrible. But if we're still talking about it, this is all on Twitter. Not everybody has access to Twitter. Some people prefer to probably go to the page. You could probably reach more people, but I think this was kind of like thrown up in the air, and I think they shouldn't have done this shit. Like, ECT is cool, but like nothing against ECT. That shouldn't be the first event. That is a fucking terrible move. With the short amount, a lot of the amount of time, way too short. Plus, with all the things that are going on with the game itself.
Yeah, that was gonna be the next piece. Is really granted all the details that we aren't getting right now, format, point allocation, even just a scope as to where are the offline events happening per region, right? Like, we're gonna just have to learn. I mean, I can understand maybe not. They may not have all those set, because that's definitely a two-way street, right? They have to work with TOs on that, and sometimes plans change, all that. And it is going until 2024, right? It is 2023, 2024. So there is some buffer for some events, but that has led to really the biggest question is Mortal Kombat 1 competition ready?
No.
Okay,
Far
cool.
from
Well,
it.
that's
I
our show,
didn't-
guys. We'll see y'all next week. No. So all right.
mean, realistically,
Why are you saying that? Well, how are you feeling about it?
I'm not even talking about the bugs alone. Like, if you look at CEO Otaku, there was a great example when they were still in the middle of fixing shit and people didn't even know there was issues, right? So, like, in my eyes, I'm like, okay, CEO Otaku was kind of like the representation for starting off the tournament. A lot of people didn't even show up, right? A lot of that should have probably showed up. But realistically, the game is still, like, has characters that are not fully functional. You have assists that are kind of wigging out. You have things about the game that is still being updated, such as you just updated the move list to be correct. Like, there's a lot of problems outside of just, like, play-wise. Like, you don't even have cross-play. You're trying to do online competitions. Like, this is a lot of this is a lot.
That the C word was definitely one of the bigger ones that also had me thinking, because I'm like, if you're playing online, like, you want the biggest amount of pool of players, right, to kind of and to work with it. That's the point of, that's the big luring fact to online, is that you are no longer relegated to a certain region area to then make people come out, right? You will have Insano brackets, all that good stuff. And you further bolster that by having crossplay, right? We don't currently have crossplay. I'm assuming it's going to be PlayStation 5. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure ECT's
No, let's be
price states that it's going to be
100%.
PlayStation 5. It should definitely be that. It's not going to be PC, clearly.
No, TNS has been running everything on PS5. They said it themselves that more than likely this is going to be the standard. And I think, yeah, it should be the standard. But at the same time, you're forcing people to kind of, I don't know, conjugate to PS5 and pay for a PS5 when they may have had PC and built their whole system around that. It's kind of insane.